Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Will Ortner. Good morning. Hopefully you're having a cup of coffee, an energy drink, tea, cold plunge, whatever you do to get up in the morning. Because I'll tell you right now, I was jolted awake when the news came in from NFL insider Ian Rappaport that the Los Angeles Chargers had reached an agreement with tight end David Njoku. On today's episode, we're going to break down what that signing means, my initial thoughts on the move. Do I like it? Do I love it? Do I hate it? I don't hate it. We'll let you know all those things on today's video. But of course, this is why you subscribe. While everyone else was asleep, everyone else didn't know that this move was getting made, we're making videos for you. Had a short form video out on the channel very early in the morning immediately. Then I went through, broke down more of what this means, and we made sure that we got it out to you. So thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. And of course, this is why you subscribe. So essentially what Rappaport tweeted out is that the Chargers had agreed to terms with David Njoku. It's going to be a 1-year, $8 million deal. Very excited to get him into Los Angeles. And what I think is important here that we are going to be able to break down on today's episode is that Njoku makes this offense whole. And I promise I'll explain it. And I have 5 reasons. But before we get into that, I do want to know what your initial reaction is. We're about a minute and a half into the video. What is your initial reaction? If this is where you first found out, or when you first saw the tweet, or when you first turned on whatever you were turning on and you saw the news, David Njoku was coming to the Los Angeles Chargers. What did you think? Because I want to hear it down below in the comment section. I personally thought, finally. That's not what I first thought. But after some grouchy, you got to be kidding me. It's early. That's early in the morning. You got a finally from me. And it's not because the timeline doesn't make sense. Because the timeline 100% makes sense. The Los Angeles Chargers, they brought Njoku in for a tryout last week on Monday. You go through a negotiation process. How does he fit with this team? What is the team willing to send over to sign him? Njoku and his people, here's what we want. You know, it's not something that gets worked out all the time in the moment. The reason why I say finally is I look at David Njoku. I look at what he can add to this offense. I look at what he can add to this team. And I say that David Njoku might be the missing piece to what can make Mike McDaniel's offense go. And if he's the missing piece, you don't let that dude walk out of the building potentially on Monday to maybe go and sign somewhere else. You make sure you lock him up as quick as possible. Think about it. If you have an opportunity to make your team whole, you got to make sure that that happens quickly. How often in your life do you see a guy who's greatly outkicked his coverage and he gets down on a knee pretty quickly? He's getting down on a knee in 5 months, 6 months. He definitely doesn't wait longer than a year. That's kind of what I view Njoku to this team. Now, you might have a differing opinion. Maybe you don't love my Colin Cowardism there, but it did feel like this move was going to get made, and it finally did. I'm going to tell you why I love this move for the Chargers, because I really think it's going to be a great thing. But first, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball finally here, there's no better time to cash in than with our friends at Prize Picks. I'll tell you this, the app, it's really easy to use. To qualify for a Prize Picks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. If you're more of a baseball guy or gal, you can choose stats such as hits, home runs, and strikeouts. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes me and producer Searle. You follow us on Prize Picks and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. I have a lineup for the football action later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his pass yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. All right. Let's start with this. Why do I like the David Njoku signing? Because I'll give you a hint. I freaking love it. The first reason, he's a complete tight end. When we look at the tight end position, what do you need to be able to do? You need to be able to catch the football, and you need to be able to block, or at least get in front of people. Now, when I look at David Njoku, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's like Lane Johnson at tight end. That's not what he is. He's a good tight end. He's able to block. Not going to sit here and say that he's going to block like an offensive lineman, because that's not true. But if you need him to get a reach, you need him to get a backside cutoff, you need him to get up to a linebacker, these are all things that he can do, which is great. When we look at his receiving stats, yeah, they're down from his Cleveland year. 33 receptions, less than 300 yards, just barely. Only 9 yards at an average, only 4 touchdowns. They're not the best David Njoku years of all time. I'd also contend that the Cleveland Browns were an absolute dumpster fire last year. You knew their coach was going to get let go at the end of the year, and you knew from the quarterback situation that you were going to see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think at one point we were talking about the Cleveland Browns having a new quarterback every single week. Now, is that hyperbolic? Yeah, 100%. But you have a ton of quarterback turnover there that you just simply wouldn't have in Los Angeles. So I think for those reasons, I like that he's going to be back, and I think that his receiving numbers are going to be up. Good run blocker, good pass catcher, great. Let's look at the scheme fit. Mike McDaniel likes to run a lot of different personnel and different formations out on the field. And he likes to run a bunch of different formations with different personnel out on the field. David Njoku gives you that ability. You now have at least 3 tight ends that you feel really confident in Los Angeles when you trot them out on the field. They're going to be able to block the way you want them to be able to, and they're going to be able to catch the football. Now, Charlie Kolar might not be the best pass catcher, but I do think that he's going to be able to grow into that. And I certainly think that having Kolar as a tight end 3 makes you feel really good about what this team and what this offense can be. David Njoku is obviously going to be your 2. Gadsden's going to be your 1. And the different formations, the different personnel groupings, how Mike McDaniel is going to use them, it's just going to add so much stress to different defenses. So I really love what that tight end room looks like now, especially up near the top. Let's talk about the veteran presence that David Njoku has. David Njoku was in Cleveland for 9 years. 9. That's essentially what, like 27 or whatever it is in dog years, maybe even more, 50s, something like that. David Njoku's been around the block for quite a while. Everything that the National Football League can throw at a player, David Njoku has seen, right? He is someone who has seen good, he's seen bad, and he's seen everything in between. He's going to be able to help get with some of the young pass catchers, whether it's at the tight end position or even the wide receiver room, in my personal opinion, and help them all grow. They're going to be able to grow together. Hey, what are you seeing from this player? What are you seeing from this team? How can I help you do this? How can I help you do that? I think that David Njoku is going to be able to teach a lot of these guys how to be a pro's pro. And that's going to be very important for this team. So you now have a great veteran presence and a great leader there. I think Herbert's confidence has to take a gigantic step up, and that's going to be the 4th reason, in my personal opinion. When you look at Njoku, he's someone when it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and you need someone to catch the football, David Njoku is going to find a way to get open, man. That guy is very good at being an outlet for quarterbacks. It's another safety valve that Justin Herbert can just dump the ball off to. You're trying to repair a lot of that guy's confidence. 1, because guys weren't catching the football. 2, he was getting beat up in every single game. You had to find a way this offseason to make Justin Herbert feel good again, feel confident. And I think you've got another outlet here in David Njoku to help make Herbert feel confident. And that's always going to be a good thing. The last reason why I love this signing is it seems pretty clear to me. General Manager Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh, head coach, they are going all in. They know what they have. And while they're not hamstringing themselves for the future, they are also bulking up right now to win. This Los Angeles Chargers team is good enough to win a title, in my opinion. Now, guys got to stay healthy. You got to play up to your abilities. But offensively, defensively, special teams-wise, this team is good enough to win a title. And instead of sitting around on their hands going, oh, I don't know, what should we do? I don't know, Jim. The Chargers are saying, let's go get the signings that we need. Let's go get the players that we need. We're not going to hamstring our organization for the long run. We're not doing the Los Angeles Rams situation where once that thing comes crashing down, it's going to come crashing down hard. But at the same time, they are making moves to help them win right now, and that's very exciting. Grade the David Njoku signing down below in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. Very interested to hear what your opinion is on it. In my personal opinion, this is an A++ signing. The Los Angeles Chargers absolutely killed it. The deal finally gets done. You're getting a veteran presence in your locker room. It's only going to help make your team better. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Had a lot of fun making it. Next time, Chargers, please make a signing, maybe not in the wee hours of the morning. I think there are some people that might have still been coming back home from whatever establishment they were working at that night before. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. We really appreciate it. We'll have another video out later on today. I believe we'll also have some videos out later on this week. You don't want to miss out on any of it. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. And as always, bolt up.